I'm Jamie Genevie, and I'm 35 years old. I'm a senior climate resilience consultant, and I've worked out at Kanna for about a year and a half.
My name's Tom Genevie. I'm 35 years old. I am a mechanical engineer, and I have been at Kanna the same amount of time as Jamie, minus 6 months or so.
When I was growing up, I tried all sorts of sports, and I was involved in volleyball, tried indoor soccer, cross country, track and field. I was on the dance team, the pom-poms team, and yeah.
Second string powder puff.
Oh,
QB.
Guest,
QB2.
Guest appearance for the annual girls football game. Yeah, QB2, sure. And then afterwards, Tom and I joined adult volleyball leagues where we were. And then when we moved, we joined one around here and played with them for maybe 6 years.
6 years, I think.
6 years, yeah. And then it finally disbanded, unfortunately. That's been fun. And then we love to go hiking and stuff and biking. But yeah, since kids, not as often, other than just lifting kids.
My list will be considerably shorter. I was not very active. I ate cookies and I watched television. Aside from around the neighborhood stuff, I'd bike to all my friends' houses in the neighborhood, and we'd have pickup football games and stuff like that. But I didn't really play any sports growing up. In middle school, we started playing ultimate frisbee, and that was intramurals and pad a shirt. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm lucky that I am athletic and have good reflexes. So even though I'm not in shape, I can make up for it with natural ability, luckily. So, volleyball has always been something I like to play, frisbee, football. But yeah, afterwards, after school, we just tried to join a gym. It was more come whenever you want type of gym. And I just could never really make it consistent. I'd get derailed, and it would be for 3 to 6 months before I'd get back onto it. And then before Kanna, I was really trying to just work out on my own, just to not have the expense. But I proved to myself that I was not capable of doing that reliably.
I proved to myself for many years that I couldn't do that. Working from home since 2014.
Yeah.
Even before kids.
Easy mode.
Yeah.
You still can do it.
Easy mode, yeah.
Yeah, and running too. Tried to get into running, and I've been better than I have been, but I think just not having that base of running, it's not easy to get into it.
I knew that I needed some sort of external motivator, somebody to tell me kind of what to do and to do it, and accountability there. So yeah, so I was looking into, even just personal training options. And I came across Kanna, and yeah, talked with you, Chris, I think, when I came in, and seemed worth a try. So
I was kind of getting into the cardio and weightlifting kind of thing, and I was really enjoying that. And it kind of feels more like a sport, and it's easier to work out harder when you're chasing something. So I enjoyed that a lot. And then when Jamie joined, and she was telling me about it, I'm well, this sounds like exactly what I'd want to do.
It had taken me a long time, I think, to look into an option, because I just felt overwhelmed with my schedule, with working full-time and having 3 kids, and I forget how old our youngest was at the time. But it seemed impossible to fit it in. But Tom was really encouraging and said, just do it, he'd watch the kids and whatever. So yeah, the first month I, stuck with it. The boot camp was a helpful kind of, I guess, wake up of oh yeah, my body really did need this. Yeah, and I've been able to mostly stick with the commitment of a couple times a week.
I remember going into it being this is probably going to be kind of culty, and I'm just going to I'll be standing on the fringes of that.
Oh, okay.
I will not be diving into the cultish part. I'll do my workout and I'll get out. But then either it's not that culty or it is culty and I'm into it. Yeah, I think maybe a little bit intimidated, I guess, a bit by, I'm always intimidated whenever there's a big group and they all know what they're doing and I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I don't know, everyone's so friendly that it's so easy to shake that.
And I was going to the 5:30 in the morning class. People were still friendly when I first joined and everything.
Right before I started Kanna, with the twins being whatever weight they were at the time, I was able to launch them into the air really high. and it was really fun. Probably very dangerous. So far, everyone's fine. I'm nervous about Ginny because she always picks her knees up and then there's nothing to grab onto. So far, so good. But right before Kanna, I was starting to not be able to do that anymore. But now, like, I have, I think, the leg strength to just like launch them again, and it's great. And then also, my blood pressure dropped. I haven't checked it right lately, but it was like 10 points or something like that since. And yeah, nothing I was doing before really helped, so that's pretty huge.
I noticed that like when we were playing volleyball, like I had more mobility and energy, wasn't winded as much. I was able to, like kind of squat and wait for the ball a little bit easier. So that was like a noticeable difference. Also had less neck pain sitting on the computer all day for work. So that's been helpful. And I feel like my knees are stronger too. So I still do wear like inside shoes for support, but but I don't need it as much, I guess. Like I can walk without shoes and not feel like so achy.
Before we joined, I did not realize that CrossFit gyms had such a bad reputation.
I did.
Yeah, I guess you did. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I've never talked about CrossFit gyms with people. But so when people are like, oh yeah, you're probably like working way too hard. They're probably pushing you too hard. I'm like, actually, not that at all. And I appreciate that here with the base camp, I think you guys like really seem to get to know everybody and what they're looking for, and you know who to scream at and who not to scream at, and it's like really personalized for not being personal training.
For the group class.
And that's mostly what I say when people ask about it.
I guess I'd say about the same thing, and that it's not like, it's not a bunch of bros lifting weights, and women are welcome. The first couple weeks are tough, like conditioning, but you get used to it. And I like how there's a lot of different times available. Really, I think it's helpful is that you don't have to use any mental energy to pick which class, like what type of class to take, or figure out your own workout if you're just going to a gym. So you only have to choose what time to show up during the week.
Because I think it's easy to get intimidated, especially if people just like pop in, like your mom popped in, and she's just like, I can't do any of this stuff, and it's like, yeah, but you don't have to really.
Yeah.
And all you guys are great with scaling things down and whatever you need to do, and I mean, you can take it like as slow as you want. I think it's tough when you have someone next to you that's going crazy doing all the purple level stuff. But you don't have to do that. You guys make it real easy to not have to do that stuff,